I am Dr. Brenda K. Williamson. It is an honor to be with you all in celebrating the Week of the Young Child. When Dr. Valerie McMillan reached out to me, asking if I would present on the topic selecting children's books, oh, I was ecstatic because this is one of the courses that I instruct, literacy and language. So before we get started, I want to have us center ourselves for the presentation content in a mindful manner. So if you will, sit straight up in your chair with your feet flat on the floor. Take in a deep breath. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now slowly exhale and blow it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that one more time. Sit up straight. Come on now. I see some of you not doing it. Sit up straight. Your feet are flat on the floor. You're breathing in slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now slowly let it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will be presenting on selecting culturally and linguistic children's books. Again, I am so excited to be with you all on a topic of my love, children's books. You can see some of the books here on the first slide, which I hope you all have read. And if you haven't, I truly hope that you will write them down and have them on your to-do reading list to expand your knowledge along with the children that you work with as well. Now it's time for you to do a little self-reflecting for me. So if you will, put on your thinking cap. I said, put on your thinking cap. So yes, you have your thinking cap on. And I want you to self-reflect, remembering when you recognized yourself or your family in books for the very first time. How did it make you feel when you saw someone in that book that looked just like you and or your family members for the first time? Take a moment again to self-reflect. And while you're self-reflecting, I will share with you the first time that I saw someone who looked like myself and my family members were not in a children's book. It was in the Ebony and Jet magazines that my family purchased. So I got to see people who looked just like me. Unfortunately, when I started school, the books primarily only had white children. So therefore, I never saw characters in the books when I started school who looked like me. But I am extremely thankful that my parents had Jet and Ebony magazine for me to see those people who looked like me. Still thinking, I can tell. I see the brain are still trying to figure out for some of you all, when was that first time you actually saw characters in a book that represented you and your family. But that's okay. We're in the 21st century and we're definitely changing those images for our children to see now. So what I want you to do, thinking cap is still on? Yes, thank you. I heard somebody say yes in the audience. I want you now to think about what you self-reflected of characters in children's books. And I want you to really think about what would be these percentages now, that you would see. So we have 2018 data. So in the palm of your hand, what I want you to do is I want you to write what you think the percentage of children's books where the main characters are white. What percentage would be animals, African American, still writing them down in the palm of your hand, Asian Pacific, Latinx, and American Indian? Write them down, because I know that somebody is going to get them correct, somebody's going to be close, and somebody's going to be shocked by the actual percentages according to this 2018 data. Have you finished writing them down? You have? Okay. Let's see how close you were to the actual data that was collected by the Cooperative Children's Book Center for 2018. If you go all the way over to the right-hand side, you see 50% of our children's books, the main character is white. Moving to the left, you see 27%. Oh my goodness, add that up, that's already 77% of our children's books are reflective of white and animals as main characters. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I need for you educators to help me reinforce the change of these percentages and the selection of the books that you are reading. You are presenting the storyline to the children. But let's continue to move to the left. Go back to the palm of your hand. What percentage did you write down that would have African Americans or Africans as the main character? We see it's 10% right now. Looking at Asian Pacific, 7%, Latinx, 5%, American Indians, 1%. Again, educators, these are percentages of main characters that we're reading these storylines to children, and they're not seeing characters that reflect themselves. Go back to, again, your memories of when you can first tell someone you read a book, and in that book, the characters look like you and your family members. We have work to do, but I know each and every one of you are capable in making these changes so that the children see themselves in this inclusive environment that we live in. Marian Wright Edelman makes a powerful, powerful statement. It's hard to be what you can't see. I want you to really listen to this quote by her as you're self-reflecting again on children's books and how you have been selecting these books in the past. And I hope that this information will help you modify some of those selection processes. Children of color need to be able to see themselves in the books they read. Just as importantly, all children need to be exposed to a wide range of books that reflect the true diversity of our nation and world as they really are. Our children must see an inclusive society in books that we read, that we probe questions to them, so that they understand the true meaning of a diverse, inclusive society where we all are felt and we all are important. So again, it's hard to be what you can't see. Some of you may be familiar with Dr. Rudine Sims Bishop. She has coined for us mirrors, windows, and sliding glass doors. The mirror is primarily when I am reading a book, the main character looks like me. I can make those connections. You know, as you're reading a book to a child and all of a sudden they'll tell you, Miss Mr. So-and-so, they look just like me. Look at her hair. And that excitement because they're seeing a reflection of themselves in the storyline. Our windows. I am now being able to begin to see other people as a part of my storyline and in the windows and begin to see reality from other lenses as well. Then I'm going to move over to these sliding glass doors. As I am sliding these glass doors, I now am beginning to be a part of this world that has been created. Think about those character traits that we instill in our children. Some of them are being fairness. How do I treat everyone equal and fair? What is kindness? Perseverance, never to give up. From and again, an inclusive reading of characters and knowing whether able or disabled, we are doing good work with our children through the books that we read, the storyline that we share as a part. So definitely keep Dr. Rudine Sims Bishop mirrors, windows, and sliding doors in our inclusive, equitable selection of books for our children. Oh, I can feel you all wrote her name down. Cannot wait to continue to do further research. I love it. So this is a checklist. Considerations in selecting books for young children that build equity and inclusion. This was adopted by Camille Catlett and Shivani Pandai from a compilation of different resources. But let us dive a little deeper into just a few of these. Look at number 1 with me. It says, look at the characters who are diverse. Are those characters treated fairly? Are they treated as capable individuals in the reading? Or are there some inclusive references of tokenism? Think about those stereotypes that we hear, and is it lacking? Again, pre-read, pre-read, pre-read. I have done observations where the teacher will ask a child to go and get a book off of the bookshelf. They're unfamiliar with the book. Then the storyline itself is not the most appropriate. And then the teacher is trying at that particular moment, how do I alter the storyline now to make it culturally and linguistically appropriate for an inclusive learning environment? Think about that. Please do. Please do. Let us look at number 4. Consider the insights children will gain from the book. Oh, I can tell somebody is already thinking. This is Dr. Bishop right here. It's referencing Dr. Bishop. I'm looking at the mirrors, the windows, and the sliding glass doors. So please make sure, are we identifying characters to whom this young person that you're reading to can see themselves in a positive light, doing great things, inspiring them? Are there moments within it that there are windows for them to begin to think and see other people and to have the empathy or do some self-regulation on how this person is going to feel from my actions that I do? So please keep that in mind. Let us move down to number 7. Watch the vocabulary. First person. Is it first person language that's being used? I see you, the person, not the disability that you have. That is so key. Are you looking for books that have the inclusive setting for children that also have a disability, but yet their capabilities are being what's referenced in the storyline? Look at the terminology that's being used. Is it stereotypical in a negative light to bring the child's feelings, the group ethnicity down to where they do not feel that they are valued, they are not worthy? So again, be very selective as you're looking for books that you want to expand, enhance, and make everyone feel a part of the reading content. We will continue now to the second page of the considerations, and let's look at number 8. Look for the values conveyed through the book. Oh, here goes those words I've been using earlier. Are the narratives emphasizing equity, fairness, and inclusion? I want to read that again for you. Are the books that you're looking at, when you're thinking about your weekly theme, are those books re-emphasizing equity, fairness, and inclusion as you're going to read the content and engage in questions, probing questions, distancing questions with your children? Let us go down to number 18. Do the illustrations avoid reinforcing societal stereotypes? Do the illustrations avoid reinforcing societal stereotypes? There are a lot of negative stereotypes that are out there, particularly for our groups of color. How do we ensure that the books that we have selected are not perpetuating those stereotypes, that we are continuing those as a part of our education of children? It's a lot to think about when you are selecting books for children. What's the storyline? Am I having mirror moments and seeing myself as the main character? Are there windows when I can see myself but also begin to see others? And then do I move to the sliding door glasses? I hope these answers are yes as you're going through the checklist. And if the answers are no or non-negotiable, please write in the comments section. So therefore, as you continue on this process of selecting books to ensure that they are inclusive, diverse, and looking at the children and the makeup of your classrooms, and how do you ensure that they are being exposed to a much larger world than where they currently are. This is also another tool that I use in my literacy and language course. Selecting children's books is another way of looking and paying close attention to the illustrations and to avoid stereotypical images in their selection of books. I want to reiterate what I always share with them, that knowledge is powerful. Once they have obtained this information, this knowledge, not to perpetuate it and continuously reading, selecting the books that are not inclusive, the books that are not representing other ethnic groups in a positive light, because that is not the society that we want children to see, but we want it to be inclusive, that we all belong in this society. So definitely take advantage of both of the tools that will be given to you later. And as you are selecting children's books, I really want you to go through those criteria as you are deciding if this is a book that I want to read to the children, that they will see themselves as the main character as we engage in conversations, that I know that I am exposing them to an inclusive society and seeing ourselves. I want to thank you all for this opportunity to share on a topic that is truly dear to my heart. And I want to give you my contact information if you have further questions that I can address at a later time. Please do so. You may follow me on Twitter. And these are just some other books that I wanted to share that was not a part of the book list that Dr. Macmillan has that was created for you all. I want to lift up Stacey Abrams' book, Stacey's Extraordinary Words, that gives the power to a child, to an adult even. When you come across words that are unfamiliar to you, to look them up and begin to use them in your everyday conversation with people to expand your vocabulary. Because as we know, in some of the children's books, there are terms that may be unfamiliar to us. And how do we present those to the children to help them to understand the importance of words? My name is Sungold. I love this one so much as I was reading it because of the microaggressions that were taking place as the teacher and his classmates were mispronouncing his name. He came up with an inventive way to help them to learn how to pronounce his name correctly. What he chose to do was to draw a picture of symbols, the sun and a goal, to help them to know the correct way of pronouncing his name. We must take the time to pronounce children's names correctly because that is a part of their identity. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the anti-racist baby. I would encourage you again to write these down, read the book, and to look at those steps that he suggests to see how you can, in return, embed some, if not all, of those into your classrooms, your building, your learning environment. And I will end with, Dad, who will I be? Again, those positive images, the mirrors that children see, seeing people who look like me in various positions is key. I thank you all for the opportunity to speak to you on the importance of selecting culturally and linguistically children's books. It is key to see yourself as the main character. Thank you and enjoy the rest of activities for the week of the young child.